Welcome to your conscious kickstart / mindful morning, depending on the mood. So, in my book, Magnificently Real, some of you might know about it and have even read it. I talk about a method for being more authentic. And now that we live in a world where this authentic word is so prolific, it seems kind of obvious, except that we're still not necessarily really getting it. I mean, especially if you take social media as a basis. So now we have something called curated authenticity. So we look like we're authentic, but we're still not really getting it. And we look like we're being vulnerable, but it's not necessarily the right moment, the right platform. So it's a bit of a tricky topic, and I try to address it in my book. And the method that I'm very basically saying is a little bit of what I've been talking about this week here is the first thing you got to do is locate yourself, like to notice, how do I feel? That's the very, very first step. Location. How do I feel? Because there's no chance of expressing yourself authentically, which by the way leads to proper communication, which by the way leads to some kind of influence, some kind of efficacy, is always going to come from this place of authenticity. I can't hope to be authentic if I don't know how I feel. So the first step is, how do I feel? The second step is a very, very, very important one. And that is, I've called it acceptance, like acceptance of the feeling, accept how you feel. And from there, you can start to express yourself authentically. Because if you're not resolved about how you feel, if you can't accept about how you feel, it's going to come out weird. It's going to come out inauthentic. It's going to come out, like with different kind of energy streams. But today, and I don't want to speak too long, we're going to start moving now. Today, I want to start to evolve that word acceptance to approval. So I don't know how that translates into German, but in English, it's quite a subtle but important difference in the language. So not only do you just accept, because accept is kind of like, okay, it is how it is and there's nothing I can do to change it, which by the way is true. Like you cannot change your feeling. Like your feeling, you can alchemize it, but what I mean is you can't, like a feeling exists, now it's there, what are you going to do with it? And there are many things you can do with it, but it exists, that's the reality. And the idea of acceptance is kind of like a little bit harsh, I find. And now I'm loving this word approval. Like, how can you approve of how you feel? Once you're able to do that with yourself, oh my goodness, you're now then able to do it with others. Approve of where they are, locate them, see how they feel how they feel. Locate, approve, and then express or influence or do whatever, whatever you want with it. Okay, so, I mean, there's so much I could say about this, and it's not going to happen all this morning. But for this morning, let's just work with that a little bit. Like, just sit down, close your eyes, and check in with how you feel, how you've arrived, and see if you can creatively, radically, deeply approve of what's presenting for you this morning. So for example, I got really, really little sleep last night. And there's a part of me that can go down the track of, you have to get up early. How is it that you could do this to yourself? And instead, to radically, radically approve, I had such a great night. Isn't it wonderful? A deep approval of my capacity to completely behave in a reckless manner, even though I know I have to wake up in the morning. Like, it might sound like that, something like that. So take one more moment. What is the language you speak to yourself with? And can you turn that into deep approval of the moment because it exists? How you feel is how you are. How you feel is how you feel. And it's only from there that we can start to change it, move it, use it, whatever it is you want to do with it. Express it. Okay, so let's begin to move. So you're going to cross your shins, right shin over the left or in front of the left. You're going to bring your hands to your knees and we're just going to make circles. So targeting the low back. So you bring your chest forward and you move to the right and then you round in the low back and you're moving in a clockwise direction. So circular movements to the right. And the movement will most easily be felt in the low back, pelvis area. And then it starts to move up more into the thoracic spine and the chest. And the head, meaning the neck, starts to also move. The breath is just natural at this point. And then come back to the center, not by rigidly stopping or immediately stopping, but slow, make smaller and smaller and smaller circles until you find yourself in the center. And then switch your legs, left shin in front of the right one, hands on the knees, other direction to the left. And try to access all those places, all those tight spots, all the places where you feel a little bit of tension. So you exaggerate the movement a little bit. Bring it into the chest, the upper back. The neck will be a natural extension of your spine. Well, it is a natural extension of the spine. So it moves naturally and organically. And then slowly making smaller and smaller circles until you land up in the middle. And then come onto your knees. So you're sitting on your heels. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your palms together. Try to extend to the elbows, but keep your palms touching. It might be that elbows have to bend slightly. That's okay. And then slowly start to move your clasped hand away from the sacrum and your chin into your chest. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And one more breath in and out. And then release your hands to your knees and rotate the shoulders front to back. And back to front. And then just pause for a moment, eyes closed. Again, check in, notice all sensation, all feeling. Nothing but approval. Okay, come onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, deep inhale breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sit bones go way up towards the ceiling. Relax your neck, bending your knees as much as you need to. And here, begin to cultivate Ujjayi breath, long and deep, in and out through the nose. Feel the weight of the head Pull the spine long. Two more breaths. One more breath in and out. Inhale, come forward to plank pose, shoulders over the elbows and the wrists. Hold it as you exhale, driving the heels back and the crown of the head forward. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor. Exhale, chest and chin to the floor. Slide the body forward, come into Sphinx pose, palms flat, elbows on the floor, and actively pull the chest forward. Press the tops of the feet down, the kneecaps up, and breathe. Press your palms flat into the floor. Lift the elbows up off the floor. Keep the elbows a little bit bent. And continue to pull the chest forward. And you're still breathing. Notice where you feel the sensation. Awareness is here. And one more deep breath in. And exhale, come down, forehead to the floor, hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, extend to the elbows back to plank pose, strong tummy. Try to come up with a flat back. And then press back downward facing dog. As you exhale, breathe in. And breathe out. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step, jump, or walk your feet up in between your hands, folding forward as you exhale. Soften the knees, tuck the chin, inhale, roll all the way up to stand. And exhale, Tadasana, toes and heels together, hands are by your sides. Come into Utkatasana, inhale, deeply bend the knees, reach the arms out in front of you, palms touch. Keep your knees bent as you exhale, fold forward. Hands to the floor, then extend the legs, Uttanasana. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend the knees, reach the arms out in front of you, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the floor, extend the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend knees, Utkatasana, reaching your arms up, palms touch. And fold forward, exhale, hands to the floor again, extend the legs, neck is relaxed. Inhale, lengthen the spine, forward, look up. Exhale, step back to plank pose and hold. Inhale, knees to the floor. Exhale, chest and chin to the floor. Slide the body forward, cobra, inhale, lift chin and chest. And exhale again, tuck your toes, seat to your heels, and downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your right leg back and up behind you. Hold as you exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Look forward. Inhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Exhale, left heel to the floor, 45 degrees. Rise up, warrior one. Inhale, palms touch, look up. Exhale, hold. Inhale, both hands to the floor. Step your right foot back to plank pose. And then hinge forward, chaturanga, exhale. Bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Cobra or upward facing dog as you inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Inhale, extend the left leg back and up behind you. Hold as you exhale. One more breath in. And out. Look forward. Inhale, left foot forward in between your hands. Exhale, right heel to the floor, 45 degrees. Rise up, warrior one. Inhale. Hold as you exhale. Inhale, hands to the floor. Left foot back to plank. And chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale, or cobra. Downward facing dog, exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step, jump, or walk your feet up in between your hands, falling forward as you exhale. Utkatasana, inhale, bend your knees, reach your arms out in front of you, palms touch. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, swing your right arm underneath your left arm, twisting your arms around each other. Inhale, lift up your right leg, double wrap it around the left one, and exhale, sit down for eagle. It might be that you bring your right big toe to the floor on the left side of your foot, no problem. Sitting way down, breathe in. Then as you exhale, bring your chest parallel to the floor. Feel elongation to the spine. So the crown of the head is reaching forward, fingers are reaching forward, and the tailbone or the sit bones are reaching back. You're bending your left knee as much as you can. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Inhale, lift the torso up. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, uncurl, take your right leg all the way back behind you. Bring your left hand to the floor underneath the left elbow and the shoulder. Reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, Ardha Chandrasana. Strong flex in your right foot, and now you're opening the hips. So you're stacking the right hip on top of the left one. Keep looking down at the floor for balance. Breathe in. And out. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And then inhale, right hand to the floor, drop your right hip down. Exhale, bend your left knee as you step your right foot all the way back into a low lunge. Inhale to a high lunge. Lift the torso up, arms up on either side of the ears. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, both hands to the floor. Left foot back to plank and chaturanga. Exhale. Up dog or cobra. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step, jump, walk your feet up in between your hands, folding forward as you exhale. Utkatasana, inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms out in front of you, palms touch. Exhale, this time, swing the left arm underneath the right one. Lift up your left leg, double wrap it around the right leg, sit down low. Spine is still upright. Inhale. Then exhale. Bring your chest parallel to the floor. Sit down really low. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths. Keep contracting the navel in towards the back body. Inhale first, lift the torso up. Exhale, take the left leg all the way back behind you without touching the floor. Bring your right hand to the floor, underneath the right elbow, the right shoulder, so your joints are nice and stacked. Extending the left arm up towards the ceiling. Flex the left foot. Keep opening up the left hip on top of the right one. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale, left hand to the floor. Exhale, bend the right knee, carefully step the left foot all the way back into a lunge. Finish the exhalation. Stand down through both feet. Inhale, come all the way up into a high lunge. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, both hands to the floor. Right foot back to plank. And chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Big breath in. And out. Inhale, forward to plank pose again. Exhale, lower your knees, your chest, and your chin to the floor, and then lie flat on your belly. You come to Sphinx pose again, forearms on the floor. Bend your right knee. Reach around with your right hand. Capture the foot from the inside. Fingers point up in the same direction as the toes. And then exhale, pull your heel in towards the right buttock. This is half frog. Keep looking forward. Make sure you're not collapsing into the left shoulder. So you push the floor away from you and you press down with your right hand on top of your right foot. Extend to the left leg. Press the top of the left foot into the floor. One more breath in and out. And then release. Right foot to the floor, right forearm to the floor, switch sides, bend the left knee. Capture your left ankle with your left hand. So it might be that the left hip lifts. You really want to try and bring your left hip bone down onto the floor. That's the first place to go. And then you explore the depth as you bring your left heel in towards the left buttock. It might be that it's up here somewhere. That's okay. Gazes forward. And breathe. Every exhale moves through the resistance, and you can only move through resistance if you're deeply approving of whatever's there. So the more we resist, the more it persists. One more breath in and exhale, release, come down and make a pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and press back into child's pose, separating your knees. Bring your forehead to the floor. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more breaths. Tuck your chin, inhale, roll up to sit, 1 vertebra at a time, and exhale the breath out. Sit your seat to your side, extend your legs out in front of you. And then from here, you're going to bend your knees out to the sides and bring the soles of your feet together for Tadasana. Okay, so it's not Baddha Konasana. In other words, it's not close to the body. Your feet are about 30 centimeters away from you, and then you round in the back, relax the neck. And you're aiming the crown of your head towards the cup of feet. But you can also just, if it doesn't reach, let the head hang. Still with the breath. And then inhale, slowly come up. And exhale the breath out. Bring your knees together and extend your legs out in front of you. Ardha Matsyendrasana, bend your right knee into your chest, right foot to the outside of the left leg, bend your left knee, left heel to the outside of the right hip. Sit both sit bones flat, Right hand on the floor behind you. Inhale, extend the left arm up. And exhale, left elbow to the outside of the right knee and make a twist. Look over your right shoulder. Breathe in. And out. Stay there, just with the breath. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, release. Straighten out the bottom leg, straighten out the top leg, switch sides. Left knee in. Left foot to the outside of the right leg. Bend your right knee, right heel to the outside of the left hip. Sit bones flat. Left hand behind you. Inhale. Reach the right arm up. And exhale, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And make a twist. Look over your left shoulder. So a little bit more subtle. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You really want to push your left hip forward in this case. So there's an energetic movement of the left hip forward so that you twist your rib cage all the way to the left in the opposite direction. And then you get a much deeper, more effective spinal twist. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, release your hands. Straighten out the bottom leg, straighten out the top leg. And just shake the legs out a little bit, lean back. And then slowly come to lie down on your back, one vertebra at a time. And setting up for Viparita Karani, take your block, place it underneath the sacrum. So remember, you can always do shoulder stand, which means you go all the way up, supporting your back with your hands into a vertical position. If you're here in shoulder stand, when we are finished the pose, and I'll tell you when we are, you bring your feet towards the floor above your head and slowly uncurl the spine that way. Otherwise, sacrum is on the block, the legs are extended in the air, and everybody let go of any control over the breath. So the breath is just completely natural. And then bend your knees. If you're in shoulder stand, come into plow pose, just for one breath. And then everybody uncurl the spine. Eventually, seat comes to the floor. Take the block out if you have one. Feet come to the floor. And then extend your legs out in front of you. If you did shoulder stand, come into fish pose, elbows onto the floor, lifting in the chest. Bring the top of the head to the floor. If you had your legs up and you want to block, just take your knees out to the sides, the soles of the feet together. Those are your two options. Just for a few breaths, stay here. And then bring the knees together. Extend your legs out. Mini Shavasana, everything relax. Moving fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, stretching to your whole body. Take your arms above your head, stretch it out. And then relax again. Hug your knees into your chest and roll to your side. Pushing yourself up to sit. And finding a comfortable seated, cross-legged meditative position. Sitting up on a blanket or a block or a meditation cushion, or just sitting on the floor. But either way, you want your hips in line with your knees, or the hips a little bit higher than the knees. Rest your hands on your knees, close your eyes. You can also rest your hands in your lap if that feels more intuitive. Close your eyes. So we're going to practice, I spoke about in the beginning, radical approval, acceptance for what is. But first we have to identify what is. So you turn your attention in. And you can start with the physicality of the body. You can start with the emotions. Just notice anything that's present for you internally. It might be that your thoughts are so loud, which you also approve of, that it's difficult to feel the physicality of the body or tune into the emotions, in which case you work with your thoughts. Allow everything, no resistance. Even the resistance you approve of, in a way. So you notice it. I wish I didn't feel like this. I wish things were different. And notice even that resistance. Recognize it as the part of you that has goals, has dreams, has ambitions, wants to see change, and approve even of that. How deep can you go with your approval? And once you have located a specific feeling or sensation or thought, this now becomes your object of meditation. Simply allowing its space to be just that's it. And your awareness is on it. Allowing it. Just like with any other object, it's a little bit more tricky, I know. Just like any other object, notice when the mind has wandered off. Congratulate yourself for noticing. And then gently guide your awareness back. The feeling, the sensation, the one thought. Whatever it is for you. When you've gotten lost somewhere, come back. Is there a physical sensation I can identify? Has it changed? Is there an emotion, a feeling I can tap into? Is it changed? Is there another thought that's present? Keep coming back. You're locating yourself. And the next step is with the power of your awareness, you're practicing deep approval and acceptance. Check in again. Notice if the mind has wandered off. Come back, identify sensation, feeling, thought. Whatever it is for you, what is most present? Continue to allow that thing to be. Allow it to take up space. And then setting an intention for your day. Maybe it's just the next hour. Can you move into your day from this place, acknowledging whatever's present for you, and see what comes out of it? There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. How would your actions look? What would you do? What would be the most authentic way to move now into your day? Bring your hands together at your heart center, your chin to your chest. Sincerely acknowledging your effort and thanking yourself for doing this work in the morning so early. Namaste.